Good morning, I'm Alexa Santoni.
I'm Eileen Cleveland.
And I'm Adeline Regals. To what extent will the requirement of a federal ID program and or the lowering of the voting age to 17 impact voter participation in national elections? Well, lowering the voting age to 17 across the nation will increase voter participation for a variety of reasons. Political party candidates will be among the first to be affected by this change. This is because candidates will have to widen their political appeals to encompass a larger and younger voting audience. As shown in the 26th Amendment, the voting age was lowered once before from 21 years old to 18 years old back in 1971. During this time period, candidates had to change and widen their voting appeals so that they could appeal to this new generation of voters from 18 years old to 20 years old. Since this happened before in the past, it will likely happen again now for the new demographic of 17 years old. Furthermore, candidates will have to be cautious of how lowering the voting age will affect the gerrymandering, the redistricting of certain areas. As shown in this gerrymandering cartoon, certain counties have a large advantage in political elections over others because of the way that the government decided to unfairly redistrict the region. If a new generation of voters is added to the political system, candidates will have to be cautious of how adding this will affect the gerrymandering and redistricting because an entirely new demographic will be added to the system. In short, based on current events and issues that tend to make younger people more liberal, political party candidates will have to change and widen their political appeals to appeal to a wider voting audience.
As for the future generation, lowering the voting age to 17 will grant access to another group into the election process. In the interpretation of the 26th Amendment, how Adeline said, the voting age changed from 21 to 18 in 1971. However, it also demonstrates how society's views were modified. For example, during this time, the men at the ages of 18 to 20 were fighting in the war against Vietnam, and people began to notice how the younger generation were changing, how the younger generation were carrying major responsibilities and no longer viewed as children. With that, people gave a new generation the power to experience the election. And with people changing their perspectives, it led to more ideas, aspects, and a new way of thinking in society as the voter participation range increased. Furthermore, the younger generation will have the opportunity to be involved and show interest in politics. In the graph, the blue line represents the age group of 18 to 29. And from 2006 to 2008, the younger voter participation increased by 30%. The growth expresses how young adults became more open and interested in the political environment during this specific time. Also, in 2014, the percentage was about 15%. And in 2 years later, in 2016, it increased to about 45%. During these years, the younger generation had the chance to provide their thoughts on political candidates, political parties, and the country itself, and take action with voting. Overall, lowering the voting age to 17 will allow the younger generation to voice their opinions and viewpoints.
So lowering the voting age to 17 will provide youth advocates a chance to voice their opinions. Teens nowadays want to be heard and they want to be represented and heard. So the 26th Amendment enforcement power cites the 15th Amendment and the 19th Amendment, which gave African Americans and women the right to vote. An additional amendment will allow 17-year-olds the right to vote, which will allow them to have their communities represented on relevant issues such as LGBTQ rights, gun control, and education. It would also improve the voter turnout among minorities. As you can see by the graph, Caucasian and African American have a significantly higher representation other than Hispanic and other. But in 2008, when President Obama was running, you could see that the African American was at its peak. This is because they felt represented 17-year-olds will want to see themselves represented. Therefore, the voter turnout will increase. In conclusion, lowering the voting age will affect 17-year-olds as it will
Affect the politics of our country.
The future generation.
and youth advocates. What are your questions?
All right, right there, good. All right, I got a question for each of you. Alan, we'll start with you. Your name was first, so start with you. In the future, what change would you make to your group norms, and how would you expect that to improve your presentation?
In the future, I believe that if we had better communication and we met up outside of school to practice more, we would have a better presentation, and it would make our presentation go a lot smoother, and the process would go better.
Okay, thank you. Alex, describe an argument from one of your peers' individual reports that makes you think differently about your team's solution.
Wait, you mean me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say?
You said Alex.
Sorry,
Okay.
that's what I wrote. I'm an idiot.
In Nylin's presentation, she talked about future generations, which kind of affects mine, because I'm also kind of talking about them, but more from an advocate, like activist perspective.
Okay, and Nye, you're up last. What's a way in which your team's resolution makes you think differently about your own individual research?
Well, about like our team resolution, I also like thought about like the opposite of our team resolution, which was like the counter argument, and how in my individual research, it like demonstrated in the graph below, like previous shown, how the younger generation were still like the lowest amount of voter participation. So that would have like affected my individual research.
All right, you can breathe, you're done.